Ladies and gentlemen, here we are today talking about Malakai Black. We've been talking about this guy wanting to leave AEW for a while. We felt for a long time that AEW might have not been doing right by him based on, what he did for WWE and NXT. But the reality of the matter is, he's who we don't care about anymore, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
Kenny,
come on,
What?
man.
can we go on ahead and
What?
get your thoughts, sir? Let's go on ahead and get into it, man.
You know what, Brian? Usually I'll be like, why is this guy going to WWE? It's a mistake. But you just made a crazy claim because what do you mean what he did in WWE and NXT? He literally did nothing.
And
He was
NXT,
good
he
in
was cooking
NXT,
NXT. He was cooking
came
in
up to the
NXT.
main roster, and Vince McMahon cooked him. Took his little.
All right, I didn't mean WWE itself. I meant NXT, but yeah, whatever.
Nah,
Okay,
you said
sure,
WWE though. You
I
said
mean,
WWE though.
for me, bro, personally, bro, he's not a top end wrestler no more. He will not be a top end wrestler in AEW, and he will not be a top end wrestler in WWE. He will be
Why?
middle of the pack.
Why?
That's just
Listen,
what he is, bro.
Why?
What do you mean? Why? He's just not him no more, bro. I'm sorry.
wow.
What do you mean no more?
He
Just because
lost
he's
the
not being
step, bro.
presented?
Bro,
How?
he's 39 years old, bro. It's time, bro. Cook it up,
Cody
bro.
Rhodes is like 40 what?
Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes is 39 and he cooking, my boy, red hot. This
It's
guy right
all
here.
about how you are positioned. Listen to
Listen,
me.
bro.
Present. Yeah.
Listen,
When
bro. This
Buddy
guy right here
Matthews
is not cooking
not
no
Buddy
more.
Matthews. When Malakai Black came into AEW, it was through the moon, through the roof. This
Yes.
guy was a
Uh-huh.
superstar, came in and beat Cody Rhodes, I believe, in his first match. The
Yes.
problem was AEW, for whatever reason, did not follow up with him. I think Malakai Black, even up until the day he's leaving, he's a guy who could have been the AEW champion, but they dropped the ball on him. So I think this is actually a good move for him to get out of AEW to go see what he can do in WWE.
What can he
Because
do in
I think
WWE?
he's a more valuable piece than a guy like Gunther. I will
What
say
what
that.
what what tell me now tell me now, Kenny,
Gunther has not been cooking as a champion.
You're right. I
what
agree.
is
I agree.
what is he gonna go and do for WWE right now? Like, what do you think? Like, what is his ceiling? If he were to go get a new run, do you think he becomes a mid-card champion? Do you think he becomes world champion? What is his ceiling for you in WWE?
I'm strapping the world heavyweight champion on him.
All right. I
The
gotta
guy
jump
can
in
cut a
here, man.
promo. I mean, he is, shout out to Bray Wyatt, but he's the closest thing to being a believable Undertaker type character that we've had
Yeah.
in a long time.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, but here's the problem I have with that. If you're gonna have him go for that world title as it stands with the roster being what it is, we got Karrion Cross, who's
Ugh,
very
yikes.
exactly,
Oh.
but he is very similar in terms of presentation with the gothic and the rocker vibes going. So I think that if he's coming back to WWE immediately, right after he gets out of AEW, I think you should put him in SmackDown before having him, jump over to be with his wife, Selena Vega, because we know that at the end of the day, they're going to want to pair them together, at least backstage, not on screen, but to have them, be able to travel and all that. I don't see a world where we have a character like Karrion Cross and Malakai Black on the same show with the same, kind of persona. It's really. Tell me, how about
Well,
this? Where are the Wyatts at?
that's who we don't care about. What you do
Exactly.
is you sacrifice Karrion
Just go
Cross,
on
you
ahead
get
and
him
throw
up out of there.
Malachi in there. Just go on
Hold
ahead and
on,
throw
hold on.
Malachi in there.
One at a time. Y'all drive me crazy here.
Just
One at a
just go on ahead and throw Malachi in there, man.
No, I say have
and
Malachi take
where?
it over. Have him take over the Wyatt Six, if you want to put him that way. Have him take over whatever Karrion Cross is doing because this guy is the leader. We see what he did with these guys in AEW. Brody
House of
King, I
Black.
think it was great.
House.
I think he
Yeah.
made Buddy Murphy look great. He created a star out of Julia Hart. The guy knows how to lead. I think he's the leader of a crew, not a follower.
No, I do agree with your point on that,
Oh
which
my
is what's
god,
so
bro.
it is so frustrating for me that this guy goes in there, beats Cody Rhodes, gets presented as, this top dude, right? And out of nowhere, he just falls into the pit of the House of Black. He is so good putting others over, and he was in these huge tag team matches over and over, just shoehorned in there for the pre-shows and sometimes in storyline. But at the end of the day, we never really got to see him as a singles top star in AEW for whatever reason. I
Fair?
think it I think Tony Khan probably just didn't really have that connection with him like he's had with Mox or other guys he's depended on. And let's face it, Malachi Black has had his fair share of issues. off screen where he's had to take time off, whether it's been injuries or just mental health. He hasn't been, I guess, as consistent for AEW for them to have presented him with a top tier belt. But everyone has a title in AEW. At some point, I thought we would see him break out of that House of Black leadership and go for his own, his own doing. And we just never got to see that. It's frustrating as a fan of Alistair Black from NXT to see him go to SmackDown, have that feud with Ray, then get cut out of nowhere, show up in AEW. I'm like, all right, it's go time. We're finally gonna get the real deal here, and it just never happened. This guy,
Ugh, I don't know, Lex. Cut out of nowhere. The guy was sitting in the back saying, "I'm just waiting for you to knock on my door,
no, what do
please."
you mean? He was
And
cut
Vince
out of nowhere.
knocked on his door and said, "Bro, you got to get up out of here."
Didn't he have that feud with Ray, and then he got dropped during the feud?
Did Ray take his eye out? Did somebody take his eyeballs out or something?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he got hit. He got hit in the face, which is why he showed up to AEW with the gimmick.
Yeah, the thing on his eye. I mean, it's cool, and I like that he took the story from WWE and took it to AEW, and then he had it like growing like a little
Yeah,
plague thing on his face.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's great, and I think that's all his work. But he has to
Creative.
be positioned in the right way for him to shine. And AEW does this with some of a lot of wrestlers. Like we look at Rusev,
Oh my God, I was
Miro.
gonna ask you about him.
When
Where's
he
he
was the
been?
redeemer, that was exactly what he needed, and then they blew it. I don't know.
Nah,
He was injured. They said he didn't want to do jobs, so I don't know what's been going on behind the scenes, but the guy had it. He had something with that
I
gimmick.
I just feel like at the end of the day, bro, and help me out here because I know that you're AEW representative.
No, bro, I'm
Yeah.
impartial. What do you mean?
Nah,
I'm just
we know
waiting
what
for the
it
bus.
we know what it is on here, man. We know what it is. We know what it is. Tony Khan seems to lean in heavily to his go-to guys, and he really hasn't added many to that mix. He does love his Will Ospreay now and Okada, all that stuff. We get it, but what what could have possibly caused Malakai Black never reaching his full potential there and getting capped off very early in all these tag team battles we saw him involved with? Like what do you think
Well,
happened?
they were saying when AEW first started that Tony Khan had like a list of his AEW champions written down. And I'm
Yeah,
sure he was like, I'm not going to break this. This is the order we're going in. These are the champions we're running in. So I don't know
wow.
if he was still, Malachi Black was still there around that time where Tony was still trying to get through his list. But I mean, if you're going by predetermined stuff that you have written down and
That's
not
crazy.
listening to the crowd or looking at how wrestlers are performing and going based on that, then I mean it's a recipe for disaster. And we saw that unfortunately with a lot of wrestlers, they fell off because of it.
Dude, I think Sammy Guevara has had a better career in AEW than this guy.
Oh, I love Sammy Guevara. I was thinking about it last
Sammy
night.
Cheeks.
This guy was the guy who wrestled in the first match in AEW. That shows how much they believed in him. Now he
Yeah,
got into a lot of injuries. Apparently, he got into some fights backstage, but he is
yeah.
just completely gone now. I think he's on Ring of
Now,
Honor. So
no, he is
it's
on Ring
up.
of Honor. Yeah,
Yep,
he's been tag teaming with like Dustin Rhodes on and off, and
he's a
he
pillar,
even
man.
he went to New Japan. But I'm saying if you look at his singles career, though, you don't think he's had more significant 1v1s in AEW than Malachi Black?
I think
Yeah,
he's
well,
had some great matches. He just couldn't stay on the roll. Malachi Black, he's had some good matches too, but when it comes to like storyline stuff,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
did a bad job with him.
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Well, what do you guys think about Malachi Black? Let us know in the comment section. But as always, don't forget to grip that thing,
Grip it.
shake it a little bit.
Oh no.
Not
Oh
too hard.
no.
You don't want to break it. You don't want to break it. Drop a like on the video. Keep that one finger you took off. Now make sure you hold it with those other fingers now and smash that subscribe button. Otherwise, you ain't got no other choice but to kiss that ring.